Let's go. The floor is yours, man.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Nigerian Pro League Season 6 finale of the Harmattan split. And I also want to drop a little bit of a side note. The points that the teams gather today will count towards something. It will count towards the grand finale, and that is going to be at another time. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nigerian Pro League Season 6 Hamatan finale. Your boy Priest, and I'm here with Fire. Fire, how you doing? I know you missed me yesterday. I know you missed me
Yes,
yesterday. I ran into a lot
so
of
yes, so
technical difficulties I couldn't solve, but I'm here with you. There was no way
yes,
I was going to
so
miss the finals, and I saw the leaderboard. Talking of the
yes,
leaderboard,
so
please. I want to see what that leaderboard is looking like right now, because we did talk about this yesterday. I'll take a look. 68 points, 66, 58, 58, 57, 57, 54, 50. It
yeah,
is too much. It is too close. It is so close.
yeah,
The first
absolutely.
time, first time I saw this leaderboard was actually on the social media for 10 and 80, and I have never seen a leaderboard this close on the final day in the NPL in all the seasons.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Like it was, it was it was quite crazy. Yesterday the games, were just like absolutely outstanding. The teams were going toe to toe against each other, and we saw the performances, just rile up towards that end. And at the end of the day, that's what we're seeing on that leaderboard right there. Teams are just really close to each other right now, so it's all down to those very very small margins, and we'll keep on you know, seeing how they're going to perform today. But I do think that guys like 21st Century are trying to pull up something here. And same thing too with the boys from Active Gaming. They're itching quite close to the boys from Vibe Gaming, and it looks like we might see something. Go down right there. But speaking about something going down, the boys from Free Esports are already beginning to, get into the action right there, as they do have two of the players currently knocked down.
It's a very interesting setup coming through all the way here from the north. Severny. You can see Free Esports and Foul Play, the bottom two teams on the leaderboard now, hashing it out on who is going to carry the table on their head. And as it's looking right now, it's going to be the guys from Foul Play that will be saying, nope, it is not going to be us. Because I do remember Foul Play did have a very an unfortunate run, and I believe it was in a tournament that they did take last place again, or at least in a bottom echelon of performance there from them. But I was equally as impressed as they've been able to crack into the NPL finale. But hopefully they will find their place in this final game, at least go out swinging, because I do remember them. They do also like to perform very very well on the last day. So hopefully this was one of those days where they will perform exceedingly. But Free Esports are no pushover as well. It would be a very difficult one to hold them out. But hopefully, maybe maybe a couple of points for Foul Play in the works here. They might just be able to escape with 4 or 3 eliminations here, owing to the fact that the guys from Free Esports have not had the best final so far.
Yeah, absolutely. The guys from, Free Esports might, have been dropping those points. It's not been quite their game so far. They've not been able to get into things because there's so many other teams are stepping up on the plate. The boys from Vibe Gaming, we saw them a couple of days ago on the first day just be absolutely outstanding. Get the chicken dinner and boost themselves all the way to that number one spot. There's also 10-11 who's also coming in with a lot of experienced players, and continue on with that massive aggression. Then you still have the boys from 21st Century yesterday as well, who came on in the later stages, and they just basically swept the entire lobby. And there's also Active Gaming, so it's like there's aggression at every single end, and that's what we're seeing playing out.
Yeah, aggression playing out. My two favorite words. And now the aggression continues as Free Esports will catch a little whiff of the guys from a Foul Play. There's Hawkeye and Leave Rufai just standing the test of time in a potential 2 versus 4. But Pels is still knocked down. The revive will come through from Locane. So they will be back up to a 4-man team, and now they will make the advance and the push successfully. And Free Esports will have an extra player once again to worry about, but that's a fantastic grenade that lobs right through. Will connect to Rufai, and will tag him up just a little bit dangerously. But Hawkeye prays from the right-hand side. UAP in hand, gets the first knock and the second. It's a two-piece from Hawkeye. The AKM will finish the job, though, as Free Esports will take this one. Turns it into a 2 versus 2, surely. As a confirmation here, and I told you, there are no pushover. But again, the advantage will press forward for the guys from Foul Play as Pels will rid himself of Rufai. And that will be the end of the guys from Free Esports. But again, it was very, very close there. It was almost going to slip away from Foul Play. It was this close to slipping away. 2 versus 2, very much potential. But the guys from Free Esports just got overwhelmed, due to the lack of intel that they had there and the unfortunate scenario that played out for them. But Foul Play coming out here as expected. Like I said, 4 eliminations to the good, but they are 2 players down, and it will prove quite detrimental to the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. The boys from Foul Play, putting up the kind of performance that you expect them to, but unfortunately they came up against the boys from Free Esports and they have 2 casualties on their side, but the elimination points definitely will count as some consolation for them. But speaking about consolation, let's take a look and see where several different teams are at and see if they are also getting into little skirmishes of their own. We do see the boys from No Game is hitting all the way towards that northern side of the map. They're around that northeast side around Kameshki. They're currently unchallenged, and that might help them, make those rotations. As you can see, the map is moving all the way with Yasnaya situated within that center. There was some OG situated around Mansion, and they do have no contest. Now, Vibe Gaming, of course, same thing as usual. Find themselves around those environments around school, but there's also the boys from First Actics around Rosehawk. Now, the rest of the teams like Dream Team, 03 Brothers, 10-11 are currently situated all the way towards that western side, and they will now begin to look to see if they can make the rotations. And what would you say about the strategy so far that the teams are employing in this game?
Well, first phase of the circle, no one is really showing their hand just yet. And we've been able to watch these teams in the past 2 days, so we already know for a fact the teams that have to play the center of the circle, and I'm talking about teams like Vibe Gaming, and they tend to play a little bit of the edge of the circle there, just play a little bit close to the vest, but not overextend just too much. But again, the play zone is going to shift away from likes of 03 Dream Team, 21st Century on that western side, and even the guys from 10-11. But I saw them a little bit towards the north, so they might run into the guys from Foul Play, and that might just be a very big potential engagement that might come through potential 2 eliminations for 10-11 if they will take the fight to the guys from Foul Play, if they will maintain that position in Severny. But 21st Century, as you can see, just making their rotation as well, the play zone just a little bit too far off, but they will make that conscious decision to chase through and play maybe on that western edge of the circle. But the north, Starbar ends being occupied by the guys from No Gaming, and all of these teams will just stay put, at least for the time being. It is in the phase 3 circle. That is when we would have an idea, of how these teams would actually navigate whatever shift the zone brings. But I know for the fact the guys from Vibe Gaming are already taking, set or center stage into that center, that middle of the zone of the map right there, as you can tell. So hopefully, we'll see a lot of collisions in that central position and a lot of engagements, going forward.
All right, we'll continue to pay attention to that and see where all of these teams are going to be positioned, as they are trying as much as possible to see if they can get into the action. We do see some rotations coming through from all the way from that southern side, as the boys from MOB and 21st Century are currently lingering quite close to each other. We'll continue to pay an eye on that and see where the boys from 21st Century are going to find themselves.
Ooh. Roy. Biting off a little too much that he can chew there. And Bougie will come through with the vehicle. Runs him straight over. And the rest of the guys from 21st Century will spray back. Baby will catch a knock onto Kenny there. But Bougie will fall immediately as well for 21st Century Power. And Baby will work hand in hand. And they lose one. But the guys from Vibe will lose two instead. And it is a 1-for-2 scenario. And the rest of the one will pop through, but Afro Esports will pull up to the mix. And a beautiful spray from Peachy will catch Power, knocks him clean off. As 21st Century are in a serious, dangerous position here. As Vibe will lose two, but a couple of sprays will be sent again from Jesus all the way across. And Vibe, one of the potential teams to clutch in that chicken dinner, to clutch in the championship, are finding themselves under fire and a little bit too early for my liking. They've got two players down, but they have managed to get one elimination from 21st Century, but it's not going to be enough, as 21st Century is the team that is directly behind them on the leaderboards, and it would pay them for 21st Century to get eliminated right now, as Afro Esports will be making the advance a little bit closer for comfort. But we can see 10, 11, and 03 here, Fire.
Yeah, absolutely. These two teams are definitely on top of that leaderboard position, and they are the teams who you definitely will be looking at them as contenders for just changing the way things are currently shaped up. As you can see, the shots are already being let loose. Shakes has already been dropped down, but the boys from 03 are continuing to see if they can defend their position. They're both evenly matched when it comes to firepower. So definitely you be seeing a really tough one coming in between the two of them. There's definitely going to be casualties. As you can see, Nexus right there trying as much as possible to see if he can defend this position. He's got Fex and Beggar right in front of him, and it looks like he might just be able to drop. He drops down Fex, and it's just Beggar who's currently within that position, and now he goes in for that number 2, and it's just Cartier who's currently left. Priest, my goodness, it is looking like Nexus is the one who's going to get
Agba free on you!
It is
Agba free on you! That's why he's the GOAT! Agba free on you for a reason. It's a 1 versus 4 on 10-11 from the man, Nexus himself, single-handedly demolishing the dreams of a championship finish for the guys from 10-11. One after the other, they fell to his M416, and 03 brothers will live to fight on.
Man, that was some amazing stuff coming in for the boys from 03 brothers right there. They did get themselves those 4 eliminations. They did have one casualty. We spoke about that. Definitely the most from 10-11, and no pushover with Fex and Bego. They are a very amazing team. But if there's anyone who's going to take them, stop them in their heels, it's obviously the boys from 03. And you did see a lovely performance coming in from Nexus. I'm not sure do you think that they weren't aware of that particular position that he had?
I would call that that was just a bad play from 10-11. Horrible play. They could have gone for the revive on Shregs. Immediately he got knocked away, forcing the revive as well from the guys from 03. I mean, they did have 2 players knocked, so it was working in their favor, at least for the time being. So 10-11, all they had to do was get Shregs back up and reposition. And and somewhere along those lines, I saw I think I saw Bego and Fex run into each other with their vehicles. I mean, I was like, what is going on? I saw them run into each other with their buggies, and I was like, what? Is there no communication, between them? What could be going on? But speaking of going on, though, Dream Team will find the guys from Vibe Gaming and send them back into the lobby, and following them will be Cyclone Shield as well. Utilities inbound, and all of the teams that are on top of the leaderboards have started to fall away one after the other, left to Active Gaming and the rest of the team so far. And it's an unfortunate scenes for the rest of these teams, as the last player from the guys from Foul Play will be perching on top here, trying to rid themselves of the guys from No Gaming. And it looks like this might just be a possibility here. I see Pels might just be able to get 1 or 2 points from this engagement if the guys from No Gaming will maintain this position.
Yeah, obviously they crashed into this position where No Gaming was currently situated at, and they did lose one extra member. It was Locane who got taken out by one of the members of No Gaming, but now they're currently unaware of this position that Pels currently has, and this may just mean that he might get a scapegoat or 2, but he's obviously going to be trying as much as possible to go for those placement points, evade them taking him out. I think that will be the play I would definitely be taking if I was in this position. But speaking about the positions. Let's take a look at where all of the teams are currently situated at. We now see that zone. We're moving all the way into that stage 3, and it is pretty much just moving around that center circle with Rosehawk School. Yes, now you're currently all within this vicinity. We do see the boys from Active Gaming, of course, trying as much as possible to edge closer and closer towards that center. They'll be looking to see if they can rack themselves some points, but they're getting quite dangerously close to the boys from MOB, and definitely MOB is not one of those teams that you want to trifle with. So it'll be curious to see how that one does play out for them.
Ooh, and foul play with the guys from Men of Blood as well, trying to do their absolute best to hold on for that. Fantastic stuff so far from the guys from Men of Blood. They've been able to, hold on and maintain their position. They are not too far away. They're not too far away from the rest of the teams on the leaderboard for sure. They are currently sitting in 7th place, and they do not necessarily have too much of a hill to climb. Just 12 points away from that first place position, but they will be crashing into the guys from 21st Century as Creed will find Baby, knocks him off as well, and it's all left to 6 Ben, but he's equally as dangerous. Grenade in hand, pops it to the left, tries to connect, and he is going to drop him down for a couple of HP bars, but again, he swings through to the left and to the right, but he's all going to be overly overwhelmed by the rest of the players from Men of Blood. But speaking of overwhelming, Active Gaming is there on the scene, reaping where they did not sow, but it's an opportunity for them to get some points on the board, as Top G will catch Magic as he tries to escape, knocks him as well, and this might just be the opportunity for the guys from Active Gaming to advance to that position. And before I could say Jack, Pro is already there in the front yards, and now Active Gaming trying to surround the guys from Men of Blood. As you can see, Creed just peeking off from the windows there, from the corners, trying to find an angle, but now Magic will be run over finally by Pro. Active Gaming looking very, very strong, but they will not be breaching the compound just yet. They will take their elimination though. They will hold on to it for the time being. Active Gaming up 4 eliminations, and this might just be the beginning of something sweet for them.
Yeah, definitely the boys from Active Gaming looking to see if they can continue on with the performance that they had in yesterday's game. They did get themselves, just 10 points away from that number 1, and they'll obviously be looking at their chances today and saying, hey, you know what, we can actually take that number 1 spot. But a couple of kills and a winner chicken dinner would definitely be boosting them all the way on top of that leaderboard. But there's still the boys from Vibe Gaming to contend with. There's still so many different teams. You do see the boys from MOB as well, also gearing to see if they can come up on that top leaderboard. But like we did speak about, a couple of teams that you will be expecting to take that number 1 spot have currently been eliminated. The boys from 21st Century who were sitting down in 2nd spot, so that obviously does leave their spot open to be taken. There's also 10-11 who have also been taken out. So it just leaves several different teams like Afro Esports to sort of challenge for that spot.
Yeah, even Vibe, Vibe also got knocked away. So there's so many, the table is so open for interpretation at this point. Active Gaming is the only team in the top 3 that's still up here, and they are still going to be vibing and battling for the rest of the opportunities that they have right there. But now they're trying to breach the compound, just like a couple of interim agents. Pro charges the grenade trying to connect it, but here comes Creed, just trying to escape. He has been spotted by Pro, probably going to take a couple of more shots just to wean him out of that corner there. But I would expect the guys from Men of Blood to take a more strategic defensive position out here, as they're trying to, get out of dodge or get out of this dangerous position. And now Creed will take that position. But hopefully the guys from Active Gaming will not get they will not start to overextend in this engagement though. Pro will be exposing himself just a little bit too much. There has to be careful. If he gets knocked by Creed, that will be the end. Surely he will be sent back into the lobby. But now it would be wiser, for Rage to actually bait the guys from the guys from Active Gaming from behind. Oh, that's a fantastic grenade. 2 grenades for a warning. The Creed does have to be careful. The next grenade might not just be so unlucky. It might just connect this time, and that's a beautiful one. Actually bounces right in front, and now the smoke's already starting to come out. Another grenade, and the next one, like I said, will not work right there, but Ines will catch him off guard, and that will be the end of Creed. Active Gaming up 5 eliminations, I believe, and they might just be gurning for that first place finish.
Yeah, the boys on Active Gaming continuing on with their onslaught right there. They will be looking to see if they can rack up those performances and boost themselves up on that leaderboard. A couple more eliminations to boost would definitely boost them all the way on top. But several different teams are also getting into the skirmishes right there. With DC, the boys from Dream Team lose one of their players on those rotations. There's also the boys from O3 who are continuing on with the onslaught. Nexus, the myth, is continuing to get those eliminations for his team. Look at the amount of eliminations he has. He's got 5 eliminations as he has continuing on with his onslaught and taking on several different players. He's going all alone. He's like a one-man army right now.
Nexus might just be looking for that MVP. And that might just be the driving force of his engagements, though. But Afro Esports will be hot on their tail. Peachy will be behind him, and he tries to spray right through. But Peachy will make the wiser choice of changing his course and direction. Guys from O3 will continue to advance inside a deeper part of the circle, as Afro Esports will fall a little bit behind. And now O3 will be taking their push elsewhere, and this is going to be a very nice position for them to hold. They will be within the sights of the guys from Afro Esports, but it will be out of dodge. Hopefully it might not get caught out there. Nexus is spotted, a couple of shots sent his way, but fortunately for him, nothing too soon. But now Rage, the last player from Men of Blood, might not just be working through much, but Peachy will catch the beast, knocks him as well. And Afro Esports might just use this opportunity to play the crash, but it might not be the wisest choice though, as No Name is there for cover. But Afro Esports will take the advance, and here comes Peachy. Afro Esports versus O3. It could get very crazy here, but Nexus has to be careful. Do not give your back to the ops, as that is the beginning of your downfall. But Neo trying to rotate from the right-hand side, as the guys from O3 will be spotted. Again, Nexus falls immediately, and the grenade will seal the deal. Afro Esports sending O3 back into the lobby. One grenade from the guys from Afro Esports, doing a fantastic job, courtesy of Swags. They got 3 up, and that will do the trick for them at least, as Afro Esports will be climbing just a little bit on top of that leaderboard with that performance.
Yeah, definitely. We do see the boys from First Actics finding themselves within that center circle, and that obviously is going to work out for them, maybe, but we might see some other teams look to breach that position. We still got about 10 teams right here within the lobby, and it is remaining 30 bodies on ground. So there's a lot of teams who have been, touched at several different locations. So we'll be seeing, how these teams will be making those rotations in right there. We do see the boys from No Gaming all the way towards coming in from Kameshka. Remember, they started from those regions. They got 1 elimination for themselves. Well, I do believe it's actually 2, as they might have taken out the last player from foul play. But the boys from First Actics are sitting quite comfortable within that center. Do you think that center that the boys from First Actics find themselves in right here, Priest, might work out for them?
I mean, that central position is very, very vital right now. I think that's the only place that has something you would call a compound or a building, at this stage of the circle. It would work a tremendous amount for the rest of the teams that are trying to get inside. I believe it is going to be in the next phase of the circle. It's going to be a very, very determining moment for the rest of the teams that are trying to breach this particular position. But the guys from First Arctics, it's all a matter of how defensive they can get, how they can keep the rest of the teams out at bay. But they can easily get surrounded as well, especially from the northern side. But again, there could be some makeshift positions that most teams might actually decide to play off of, engaging in this kind of play zone, based off of the fact that it's a little bit centered up in the northern areas. But most of the teams as well trying to breach right through and get an angle or in position onto the guys from First Arctic. So they are playing a split, Agathe playing behind your might and Crooks there. So again, this might work for the long run, but again, the next player will be a determining factor. If it does center up around them, it might just hold them off. They might just be able to get a couple of more points. But again, as it stands right now, First Arctics do need to do a lot of work, to be able to maintain that top 8.
Yeah, we'll see, what that does mean for for all of these guys as they are continuing on the rotation. You can see the shots going on from First Actix right there to the boys from Afro Esports as they are looking for that little bit of elimination to come through, and all of these teams are beginning to feel the hurt. You do have the boys from Afro Esports trying to begin to make the rotations as well, as they have an edge of that circle. I do believe that they do have that foul play player also just outside there, not too far away from them, as well as the boys from No Gaming. So we'll see what that does mean for a lot of these guys. But speaking about what that does mean for a lot of these guys, we do see right there within the center, it is the boys from Active Gaming who got into the action quite early on, now losing one of the players. They do lose Skimmy, as it is the boys from Knock and Lobby who are sending on the shots towards them.
Fortunate scenes for the guys from Active Gaming losing one of their players. Now setting their sights onto the guys from Knock and Lobby. Balabulu and Agbalagba doing their absolute best to hold on, but Laser starts to laser through onto the guys from No Gaming. The first one falls, and Bibs just has to be careful there because they are in a sandwich between the guys from Afro Esports and Old Guards, and they do have to decide on where they want to make the advance to next. But Swags will catch Rusty and knocks him as well. Chief trying to rotate from the left-hand side, and the end going to spray fantastic again towards the odd man. Peachy again sprays, connects through as well as Laser continues to laser onto everything in sight there, as Afro Esports trying to hold on and get a couple of eliminations as they try to engage Old Guards, as Chief will be spotted and knocked away as well, and another one for Zani in the sight of Laser there, as the rest of the guys from OG will be dealing heavily the damage that they are receiving from the guys from Afro Esports up on that hill position. But Ishiki, they're trying to deal with Pop Pro, but he is going to get knocked off. Active Gaming still active, 6 eliminations to them, and looks like they might just be looking for more, but Knock and Lobby will knock, and they will lobby Active Gaming. And now OG Cole will suffer the same fate, courtesy of Afro Esports, and they will be climbing up a little bit of an angle there from the western side. They might just decide to run into the guys from Knock and Lobby on that far west, and that might just be a deciding moment for the guys from the Old Guards. But Afro Esports looking too strong here, Fire. This might just be the game that catapults them into that first place position.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a lot of eliminations, and they still have a full squad to do. So they did drop one of the players right there from OG. This Chief who's going down, and they're left with just the one player trying as much as possible to see if they can keep them alive. But look at that coming in. Amazing driving from Laser as he's able to get those 2 extra eliminations. And the one Afro Esports do have 10 of those eliminations to themselves, and they can continue to boost up. They already have the same amount of eliminations as they would have gotten from getting a winner chicken dinner.
It is impressive the way Afro Esports have been able to handle this game. You know, I am so impressed. I mean, 10 eliminations, and there's still a couple of more bodies to drop inside of that circle, and that tells you a whole lot. They've practiced, they've understood, you know, the majority of the teams in the lobby. They know what kind of strategy they want to apply, and they started to apply it no time. Right off the first game, they're already starting to do it, and that tells you a whole lot, you know, based off of their performance so far. But now this is their game to win. You know, the only team that I could say that would stand in their way right now is going to be the guys from First Arctics. But if they are going to play defensive, it would work this time around. But hopefully nothing too tricky here for them, at least. You know, they do have a side set onto the guys from Knock and Lobby, and they are starting to knock Peachy again with a fantastic spray across with the UMP, connects the first knock, but he is not going to fall short on the second. But Afro Esports now sending their sights onto that northern side, as Knock and Lobby still doing their absolute best to hold on just by the edge of the circle there. Balagba getting that revive onto Balabulu, and it will come through. Fortunately for them, they have a little bit of time to play, a little bit of time to spare, but not enough utilities. Hopefully that vehicle will be of use to them to get inside the next phase of the circle without getting eliminated, as Afro Esports will increase their kill count to 11.
Yeah, we'll see what that does mean at the end of the day as the boys from Afro Esports are continuing on with their onslaught. They do find themselves within that center circle, so they're controlling it. Now they definitely have positioned themselves in a situation where they can go on and win this game, and several different teams are currently, you know, just below that hill right there. They do have the hill advantage. They do have that center circle, so they can look onto several different teams around them and look to basically just annihilate them. They have clear sights of the boys from Dream Team, and that might might just work out quite well for them. But they do have one of the players now who's currently being dropped down. This might be an opportunity for the boys from First Tactics to begin to move into that central position, as you can already see them beginning to make those rotations. But Dream Team might just be playing spoiler, because if First Tactics decides to rotate towards that circle, they still have the boys from Dream Team behind them, and that may just cause some problems for them.
Major problems could be caused for them, surely, as the guys from Knock and Lobby trying their absolute best to navigate through, but Peachy will get knocked away. And Afro Esports again eliminating yet another team, courtesy of Peachy this time around. And First Tactics doing their absolute best to hold on, but Dream Team will be there as well to set the stone onto the guys from I believe the No Rage Esports. Again, Alpha goes down to the play zone, and I believe the play zone will be claiming all of the guys from No Rage Esports. It gets trickier by the second. And Neo just holding up on that northern side. And the guys from Afro Esports are dominating every single position inside of that play zone. They have everything to count for, breaching through, trying to find an angle to get more eliminations and more eliminations out of this game. They want all the maximum points that they can accrue, as Laser clutches out a grenade and starts to count to 5 to release it to your might. Might just connect to him again. Fantastic grenade. And he is going to be one, turns his back to the ops, and he's punished immediately. Afro Esports going downhill, taking one after the other. And now First Tactics, the next one's to fall. Afro Esports running crazy in the lobby. 16 eliminations. Make that 17 eliminations as Rash's grenade starts to charge, but surely they know where he is. Swags is going to be trying on that right-hand side, but they already pop a couple of Molotov cocktails to seal the deal. He pops a grenade outside. It is going to connect to Swags. Tries to send it back into the lobby, but the cavalry is there, as Afro Esports will do a fantastic job of getting that chicken dinner. Afro Esports, a beautiful chicken dinner coming in from them. And that is a performance that I do love to see, as they will be walking away there with at least 17 eliminations. Beautiful stuff coming in. The guys from our Dream Team coming in there in second place with 6 eliminations. First Tactics in third place with no eliminations. So defensive in that position. The guys from No Rage Esports in fourth place with 1. But big shout out to the guys from Afro Esports, ladies and gentlemen. Now that is a performance. One for the ages. One for the ages. Fire. That is a performance now. Now Afro Esports have put themselves back in the mix. Now they started cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely performance coming in from, Afro Esports. I do believe that this does obviously put them quite clear of everybody in that number 1 spot. We'll see what that does mean when we do come back from a quick break right now. For now, we'll take a look at some adverts from our sponsors, and we'll see you in a couple of moments. When we do come back, we'll take a look at the leaderboard. See you guys in a couple of moments.
Hello guys, my name is IOTG Oluwashom. My in-game name is 03NextZero18. I'm the current leader at the IGL of O3 Brothers. Yeah, we finished first place in the last season of MPL. And then our experience in the tournament was very good because it was a nice competition, so we could learn new things, we could learn how to rotate and new strats, and then it paid off well. And we hope you guys can get us a better stream and then increase the price pool. That was all. Thank you very much. Thank you Carbon, thank you 1080, thank you MPL. God bless. Hello guys, my name is IOTG Oluwashom. My in-game name is 03NextZero18. I'm the current leader at the IGL of O3 Brothers. Yeah, we finished first place in the last season of MPL. Hello guys, my name is ISTG Oluashom. My in-game name is 0390018. I'm the current leader at the IGL of O3 Brothers. Yeah, we finished first place in the last season of MPL.
Let's go to the game straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nigerian Pro League Season 6 grand, or not the grand finale, but the finale that leads to the grand finale. It is the Harmattan finale instead. A couple of points gathered from these teams will translate to another set of points that they will earn that will give them grand final points and putting them that much closer to that 1 million naira prize pool. But before they get there, they need to cross the bridge. That is the rest of the teams in the lobby, as we saw the guys from Afro Esports do in the last game with a whopping 17 elimination finish. And now that is the beginning of something special. But now the rest of these teams will need to wake up from their slumber, as Afro Esports have shown them the way, the truth, and the light, and they will have to follow in their footsteps very, very soon. I mean, looking at the play zone, though, Fire, north to south, I think most of the teams that would be in that central position, like Monte Nuevo, Power Grid, Picado, and maybe Water Treatment, maybe a little bit of Power Grid, I think those teams would be in a very prime position, depending on what that play zone decides to shrink right through and decides on where he wants to move in. But I think that is the right place to be right now.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. And we're seeing some teams, just each, quite close towards each other. We do see the boys from, 10, 11, looking to see if they can get into a skirmish. They got a couple of teams right there in front of them. Is the boys from OG and 10, 11. You can't say that they're always finding, this little bit of skirmishes quite early on.
Time is of the essence, though, when they decide to get into something interesting. As you can see, guys from 10-11 will get their hands dirty first with a shotgun from Bego. Will connect onto Cole, one of the players from OG, and unfortunately, that will be curtains for him. And Pedro will scale a little bit behind, fall all the way back. As guys from 10-11 looks like they might just be holding this position very, very tightly, and they will not be letting it go. As guys from the old guards will have to retreat, and they will surrender. There is a ton of work to do for the guys from Afro Esports as well. You need to navigate a lot of positions in here, owing to the fact that they've been able to get a couple of points to boost themselves onto that top part. Hopefully, they will be able to rise to the occasion and get something done as well, as Neo will be working on that left-hand side. Trying to find an angle there. Dusted out in Picado, but it's interesting though. The guys from Foul Play will still be in this position. They are just hanging around the corners, hanging around the sides, looking for a little bit of engagement there. As you can see, Locane just scrounging on the floors there, getting the utilities, packing them up, trying to work through the ruins there of this little outside area of Picado. It's so interesting though. Foul Play squeezed out of their landing position. You can see a Locane outside. And they've not been able to get significant loot for themselves, unfortunately. But they will be able to hold on, at least for the time being. They have not lost anyone just yet. But it's looking so prime for them, at least. But Cyclone Shield been super quiet so far. Yeah, it looks like they might just be able to hold on.
Yeah, I think the boys have some Cyclone Shields. It's not just been their finals. We usually see them getting into skirmishes and coming out on top. When it comes to those close range, but something's just happening with them. I'm not sure that they've been able to put up the same performances. Maybe that could be because they don't have their man Danny Brown with them. I don't know. What do you think is a bit different for them?
Yeah, man, I think it's the Danny Brown effect, that's for sure. He did get thrown off yesterday, and they've not been able to play with him, and he is their front man. But unfortunately, he's nowhere to be found, and I think he had some technical issues, somewhere. So unfortunately, he is not going to be able to join them for the rest of the finale. So it's starting to show. He's been replaced, so it gets even much more difficult not having your front man, in the game, in the mix right there. So unfortunately, this is an unfortunate setup for them. But hopefully the guys from Cyclone Shield will wake up to the task and they will be able to do something about it. But OG will be outside of water treatment, still scrounging around the guys from 10-11. And it looks like a potential clash of heads might happen again, as they've been able to, navigate. But they were able to lose Cole, unfortunately, to Bego with that shotgun shell connecting to the rest of his body, sending him back into the lobby. 10-11 still circling around these parts. And it looks like OG will just have a lot of rotations to do to get out of dodge for here, at least for now.
Yeah, there was some OG, have lost one of their players. I do believe that went to, the boys right there from 10 and 10-11. I almost said 10 and 80. So right now we do see that several different teams are currently, trying as much as possible to get themselves into, good positions. If you can see right there within the map. But speaking about teams getting into good positions, we also now see the boys from Foul Play getting themselves into a skirmish right here. They've lost one of the players, Pels, who's been taken down, and the boys from Afro Esports are continuing on with the way they ended the last game. They are, trying to see if they can take out the boys from Foul Play.
Foul play, super, super stubborn, but it gets even much more difficult, trying to defend the landing position that you already had. But as I saw earlier somewhere, they did get very tricked up in that position against it.
So
They
here,
did get sorry.
all right, so here's where it starts. The boys from Afro Esports coming into the mix right there, but now they've taken down the boys from Foul Play down to that one player, and this nade might just be able to do the damage. They've dropped. Locane has dropped one of the players right there for Afro Esports. Two of the members of the current did knock down. He's going up against Peachy, who does put in the work and gets that last bit of elimination, saving his teammate Swags, who almost got taken out there. So the boys from Afro Esports getting those 4 eliminations, and now they do not have any casualties.
Ooh. Have Foul Play biting off a little bit more than they can chew once again. I would think they would have given up this position, after that first engagement that they had with the guys from Afro Esports, losing, I might add. I think they lost in another tournament, and I thought they would have learned from there, but unfortunately they did not, and they've paid the ultimate price for that. They've already been sent back into the lobby, and that is an unfortunate setting for them. But they do need to raise, their awareness levels, their performance levels, if they want to be, performing very well in the finale of the NPL this season. And it is an unfortunate setting for them at least. But then, we do have to soldier on. The guys from Foul Play will have to wake up and perform significantly better if they are trying to, at least get some significant grand final points, But let's not forget, grand final points are still in the running. The higher the points you get, the better for you and your team.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of these teams will be looking to see if they can gather those points right there. But speaking about gathering the points, you can see Monga also get into his chemist right there with Gotche, and he's being dropped down to pretty much more than 1 HP. He does require the support of his teammate, but he's going to get dropped down as the boys from OG and now down to just the 2 players. But Pedro is also within the vicinity, looking to see if he can get into the action right there. The third party shots coming through as he is trying as much possible to send on the shots right there to Gotche. He will be dropping Gotche down, but from a distance, you can see that Bego and his teammate are currently providing them with that necessary support. So 2 players down for the boys from OG, but on the other end, you also do have 2 players down for the boys from 10-11. Now 10-11, we did see that in the previous game they weren't able to manage to get those points that are actually required. Fex does get dropped down, and it's just left with Bego to somehow keep their hopes alive in this game. And on both sides, it's just the 1 player left.
Third party central is the name of the game, though it works out like magic every single time, as the guys from First Arctics will be the rear end. It will be the thorn in the side for both of these teams. They are shooting at anyone who moves, and the guys from 10-11 will have to reposition. They were able to get a couple of knocks spread through onto the guys from OG, but they've not been able to claim those eliminations just yet, as OG do have 2 players still knocked away. And Pedri will have to race to the occasion, but Gordier finally getting that confirmation. 2 eliminations up for the guys from 10-11. And Fex surely will get picked up as Monga continues to bleed out. He was the first one to go down, courtesy of Gordier, and Gordier will get this next elimination, and that will be 3 for the guys from 10-11, making the advance forwards. And now they're doing a fantastic job of increasing their numbers. They were able to squeeze a couple of eliminations in the previous game. Unfortunately for them, they will be able to hold on at least for a little bit longer. Their title hopes will not be in vain, hopefully. But OG will still survive, courtesy of their last player. I believe that is going to be Zani. And hopefully we'll be able to get some placement points at least for them going into the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see, what that does mean for them of course, like you said, going into that next game, as they will be hoping to see if they can continue to put up those performances. But speaking about performances, the boys from 10-11 looked like they were gonna get taken out right there. They did have one casualty. It was Fex at some point. We did think that they might have the boys from First Actics. That definitely kept them from getting that revive that was absolutely necessary. But we'll see, if they can continue on with three-man squad. Obviously, they'll be feeling the heat from losing one of their main men, Fex, in this one. And what do you think that loss is going to mean for them? I mean, do they still have the firepower to continue on with the fight, and it doesn't really matter, or you think like it's really significant for them?
I mean, it never hurts, to have all your players, participating to the best of their abilities into the last game. But there could be a lot more that they could do, not to lose any players very, very early, as you might see. 10-11. I feel there's a whole lot of potential for them. But then again, they get very, very sidetracked very, very quickly. And it tends to tell on them, playing as a three-man every single time. But Fex, unfortunately, will be one of the players lost away. But again, he did not get any eliminations in all of those engagements. He got blindsided by First Arctics, even after getting picked up. So that tells you that, he's not necessarily doing too much for them, at least for the time being. But, says a lot based off of the settings that they've been able to accrue based off of this particular Miramar game. 3 eliminations is not too bad, but they should be looking for more. The play zone is a little bit favorable for them coming in from that northern position, but there is a chance they will run into the guys from No Gaming a little bit too sooner rather than later. And this might just spark an interesting engagement for them.
Yeah, the boys from No Gaming currently within this vicinity, looking to see if they can take on the shots coming through on the boys right there. You can see Bego getting that knock onto Rusty, and No Gaming. This is where they do require the support. Bego going surprisingly for that finish, instead of trying to see if he can continue on the fight. He does look like he still, wants those points coming through, and we do see right there on the kill feed as well. Well, the fight going down between the boys from Rage and the boys from Active Gaming, as the thirst will come through onto Rusty and Bego continuing to put in the work right here.
Bego starting to spray one after the other, but Bego will catch yet another one, biting the dust, courtesy of 10-11. Bego is the man doing all of the Lord's work there, as No Gaming will be hightailing it, getting out of dodge, as Oddman is going to be the latest victim of Bego's grenades and his shenanigans as well, as Shregs will be looking to find the confirmation on top there, but 10-11 will have backed 5 eliminations so far, and it looks like they might just be going for a whole lot more based off of the performance they've already had here. And they're telling you that they are not ready to give up on that final chicken dinner just yet, I mean, 10-11, they're still in the running for this. And now up 6 eliminations, finally getting that confirmation onto Oddman. Bego will be leading the charge there. It's 4 eliminations out of the 6, and that tells you a whole lot. But Bibbs will be getting out of dodge, finding a brand new place to hibernate for the rest of the guys from No Gaming. Hopefully he will be able to get some placement points on the back, but he has to survive at least through 6 more teams all by himself to get those points, to get that much closer to that grand final, that much closer to next whatever is next for the guys from No Gaming, unfortunately.
We'll see, what that does mean for them at the end of the day. There's still about 2 games to go, so they might just be able to come back and put in some performances right here. But speaking about performances, we do see the boys from Afro Esports now beginning to get into a skirmish right there with the boys from O3, as one of the players does get dropped down, and this is 2 heavy hitters within the game. We haven't really seen them, get inch quite closer to each other. But O3 now beginning to put in the work. We saw them in the previous game. They took out the boys from 10-11, and now they're turning their sights onto Afro Esports. And what do you think about this one?
Pro Esports, they have been putting a lot of work in fighting all of these teams, but they have in a very tricky, difficult position right now. stuck between the guys from O3 and Free Esports, but O3 will catch a whiff of the guys from Free, will spray through as well. Shiva will catch a couple of shots, but now Laser is knocked away still. The revive hasn't come through, but O3 will make the advance surely. But before they do, Neo will go for that revive. Laser is going to get picked up there. Neo doing a fantastic job of playing support. The guys from O3 will be lurking ever so closely. They will fall a little bit behind there, changing their position, repositioning all the way out towards the south, as the rest of the team from Afro Esports are playing an interesting split here. But I would expect, the guys from Free Esports to see Neo as he's trying to, make all of these movements and rotations across the corner there. And he is going to be tagging for supremacy, just giving a little bit of an idea to the rest of his teammates that, yes, Free Esports are right up there. Make sure you do not overextend. Make sure you do not expose yourself, as you will get punished very, very quickly. But again, so much is going on right here. I mean, I really want to see if the guys from Afro Esports will make it out of here between O3 and Free Esports, without any immediate vehicles coming into play. But again, I would be very, very impressed if they do manage to squeeze out of this position. Afro Esports very, very solid in Miramar, so I would be expecting more of that from them as well.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what that does mean for them, as they're currently surrounded by the boys from O3 Esports. Definitely for a lot of people who, if you're watching and you don't really know a lot about them, the boys from O3 are our current defending champions, and they were looking to see if they can put in those performances right here. But we also see some shots coming through from the boys from Active Gaming right down to 221, and they're doing it from the distance right there. So one of the boys from 21st Century got taken down, but it doesn't look like Active Gaming is going to be making that push, as they are just a three-man squad, and they won't want to be coming up against a full squad right there. They got a lot of distance to travel. Obviously, they're going to be prioritizing finding themselves within that next circle and making it in. On this other end, you're now seeing the boys from Afro Esports and the boys from O3 Brothers now begin to inch quite closer and closer towards each other. Swags and the boys are looking to see if they can get into a fight right there.
Fighting will boost your chances of getting eliminations, but it will also decrease your chances of getting some significant placement points, as the guys from Afro Esports will be making it a little bit of a tall-worthy opponent for the rest of these teams. 8 eliminations to them, and they are trying to wrest away this position from the guys from O3, trying to advance just a little bit higher on the mountain top right there, as they are going to be trying their best to creep onto the guys from the O3 Brothers. No name. Very, very close, dangerously close to the guys from Afro Esports. Swags will fall just a little bit behind there to gather some intel, but Peachy will maintain his position, will not make too much of noise. He is just waiting for an opening, and they will swarm the guys from O3. It will change into a defensive setup there, but 6 men will be spotted by Nexus, and Nexus will continue his outrage from the previous game. Confirmation onto 6 men, it's sure, as 21st Century will hightail it and retreat from that position, finding somewhere else, and a grenade from Nexus just to confirm that they have moved away from that position, and they will find another angle to navigate inside of that play zone from. 21st Century, unfortunately, will get knocked away and pushed all the way back. But here comes Afro Esports as well, receiving another grenade, will force them back. Peachy exposing himself just a little bit too long. And I told you about this. Peachy just moved in too close to the guys from O3. He gave up his position, and he has paid ultimately for it. And Afro Esports will be losing one player, and they will be losing their star man, Peachy.
Yeah, definitely they'll be regretting that move right there, as Peachy is one of the major fraggers and the heavy hitters in this one. But obviously they do have a couple of eliminations to the name in the second one. Remember, they got the winner chicken dinner. They continue on this game with 8 of those eliminations. So even if they were to be taken out right now, they've gotten almost the same amount of points as you would have if you got a chicken dinner. So we'll see what their strategy continues to be with the rest of the 3 men.
Well, working along the kinks of the probabilities for these teams, it is so impressive how they've been able to manage and hold out these positions, especially the guys from O3. They have not been able to get to all the eliminations like the guys from Afro Esports, but they are not too far away as well. as 10-11 and Active Gaming are still in the mix with a couple of eliminations above. And O3 will need to rise to the occasion if they are trying to finish in that top three. As 21st Century will find themselves holding to that little compound there. Pharaoh is exposing himself just a little bit too much. He is going to get tagged and warned again by all of the teams in this area. And I'm talking about Vibe, O3, Active, and Afro Esports as well. There's so many bodies in this area. I think all of these teams have the same idea of trying to make these rotations. But again, if they are by the edge of the circle, there would be a significantly trickier, rotation to make for the rest of these teams. The play zone is going to be shrinking just a little bit sooner, and that will be a determining moment as we head into the stage 4 circle. And now this circle will be a determining factor on the rest of the way these teams will decide to play. But it would be very interesting to see how it moves. It is going to move to San Martin, the southern side. And now O3 will be surely more blessed as they spray towards the guys from Active Gaming.
Yeah, obviously the boys from O3 playing what is a quite interesting split right there, as on one end they moved themselves all the way into that central position, on the other end they have two other players currently within the vicinity where the boys from Afro Esports are currently situated at, and I do believe they're waiting to see if they can get another elimination onto the boys from Afro Esports to continue to, as much as possible, to keep them at bay and make sure that they don't have quite the performance that they had in the previous one. Yeah. So, do you think that that's the case, that they purposely are trying to keep the boys from Afro Esports out?
Based off of the setting that O3 have been able to adopt in this Miramar game, and the fact that they know that Afro Esports is the team that lost one player in the previous engagement, based off of the grenade that popped right through onto, PG there. They know now that this is a team that they definitely need to eliminate, to increase their chances of getting into that top three. Is either the strategy is usually either perform exceptionally or prevent the other teams from performing exceptionally. So it's a matter of, what strategy you choose. But this time, I think the guys from O3 have adopted the strategy of reducing the performance of the guys from Afro Esports, making it reducing the number of potential points that they can get. And how do you do that? By eliminating them, by eliminating their star man like PG, playing mind games, playing it mental. And Afro Esports are going to be in a tricky situation because they do not have the play zone, but O3 do, and they are going to play it absolutely perfectly. All they have to do is exercise a lot of patience, and it might just fall into their lap. Ooh, Shiva getting blown away there by Neo. He did not expect that engagement, but another spray from Laser, or rather towards Laser from Ace, will connect as well. But Neo is there to the rescue. Will get another knock and send the guys from Afro Esports just up ahead, as O3 will have to manage now with two players, No Name and Nexus, the last two up, but they are going to be on the fighting edge there. Swags pops right through. He is going to spot No Name, sprays right ahead, but it doesn't connect. Will fall back a little bit too much as Nexus will set his sights on him, sprays a couple of bullets in that general direction. A little bit of a warning as Swags will try again, trying to find an angle onto the guys from O3 Brothers, as Nexus will catch him again by the hip side and tags him up just a little bit too much there, just to warn him and send him all the way back, as O3 will continue to maintain that position, trying to gatekeep and keep the rest of the guys from Afro Esports from advancing forwards. But Afro Esports already have 10 eliminations, so they do not necessarily need to overextend too much.
Yeah, now the boys from Afro Esports continuing on with their onslaught right here. Remember, they did have that one casualty coming through from Peachy, but they've been able to get a little bit of that sweet revenge as they took out a couple of players right there for the boys from O3, taking them down to what is pretty much just a two-man squad, the door right there. But they've got to get themselves into that zone as well. They've got the boys from 21st Century right there in front of them, so they do need to be careful of that. They can find themselves an edge, but will the third parties now begin to take them out? There's also the boys from Vibe Gaming, who are a complete squad just right there in front of them, and they still have to contend with two players coming through from the boys from O3, and with Nexus still up within O3, and we know what that man's capable of. He can single-handedly wipe out a full squad. So the boys from Afro Esports, should just be very careful. If not, they could just get caught sleeping.
There's a lot of practice and readiness that goes into preparing for finale just like this one, as the guys from Afro Esports have been doing their homework against all of these teams, but still have the rest of the lobby as O3 and OG finally getting swept away there. That would be the last player for them, Zani, getting confirmed and sent back into the lobby courtesy of Roy there. As 21st Century continue their onslaughts, trying to increase their numbers, trying to grasp at that title of being called MPL champion just a little bit longer. But Afro Esports are not letting this one slide at all, as No Name is trying to wait and bait for Laser to pop his head. They will try again to connect a couple of shots, but Cyclone Shield are in the feed as well, trying to deal with the guys from Dream Team. But Afro Esports still holding up by the south edge of the circle there, trying to navigate through those positions. As they do have 10 eliminations speaking for them. Sprays right through, trying to connect them to the guys from Cyclone Shield, and a beautiful spray from Kenny from Vibe there. Vibe will start to vibe out as Recti will be confirmed surely by Kenny there. But the cover fire is brilliant, but it's not going to be working any miracles here for the guys from Cyclone Shield, as that will be the end of Recti. Cyclone Shield losing yet another player, and I believe they did lose every single player courtesy of O3. No Name blowing up a vehicle there. Cyclone Shield going out in 11th place, and this is not the best final for them. Fire Cyclone Shield out once again.
Yeah, the Boston Cyclone Shields have not been able to replicate those performances. We spoke about it, just earlier on. Maybe it might just be a thing where their star man Danny Brown is not currently available with them, and their nerves are currently shaking. But now, speaking about nerves, they stand outside onto the boys from 10-11, as they do have one of the players currently dropped down. The revives are obviously coming through. They've lost one of the player. Fex has been taken out and sent back into the lobby, but Bego is continuing on with the great performance right there, as he does have 4 eliminations to boot right there. But the boys from 21st Century, who had an amazing game yesterday, are coming through with that bit of elimination. They didn't make that push onto this position, looking to see if they can hold off their own quite well. But now the boys from 10-11 are now beginning to rotate towards that position where the boys from Active Gaming are currently situated, and there's also First Actics within that vicinity as well.
There's so many teams in the area right now. The play zone is starting to get caked up, and all of these teams are by the edge of the circle. There's actually no one inside of the play zone just yet. All the teams are hanging out just by the edge there. As you can see, 21st Century now being the object of desire for 10-11 there. Shrex tries to pop something inside of that smoke, but he doesn't connect anything just yet. But now the guys from 10-11 inching second by second inside of that next play zone, trying to find an angle, trying to find a brand new place to call home. And I believe Shrex has been able to find something. But now the rest of the teams, though, will they allow them to find that abode? Will they allow them to do something about it? Shrex jumps outside. He might just get spotted there by 21st Century. He comes a little bit too close there. Roy is going to make the advance. The 2 versus 1. Pop 2 on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And it is going to connect. Roy gets knocked off immediately, but the return fire onto Shrex is absolutely perfect. But baby, on the scene, we saw him do a 1 versus 3 yesterday, live in front of our eyes. Can he do it again? But no, 10-11 will come out on top courtesy of Bego once again. The man, the myth, the legend continues to survive for 10-11, and now the advance starts to call through. Unfortunate scenes there as Shags will be swept away by the play zone. The 10-11 play starting to work right through there as God J will find an angle inside of that next zone to work with.
Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff. Now we do see the boys from 10-11 turning their sights onto the boys from Active Gaming, as they do put down Skinny in this one, and now they're taking the fight down to a 2v2 coming through right here. The boys from 10-11 holding up 10 eliminations, and there's the man Beggar right there who has been putting in the work for the team and gotten them into this position. Absolutely standing stuff, but they've got the boys from Active Gaming right there around the corner. Now here's the thing: the boys from Active Gaming have got to make the move into this position. That's the play that might work for them. If they can get this position taken away from the boys from 10-11, it may just turn things around. But there's also Vibe Gaming coming into the mix, as they do get a knock coming through onto the boys right there from Active Gaming.
Vibe doing a fantastic job of holding out. They do not have all the eliminations to boot right there, but that chicken dinner will be tasting very, very nicely for them as well, as they are going to be making an advance. But O3 is there, just playing behind, but Anes will feel the burn, courtesy of Timmy. And now Vibe will make the advance inside of that next part of the play zone. They do have 4 players up, and the numbers advantage is the beauty of the guys from Vibe Gaming. It works every single time. as they always survive with a significant number of players going into the final third. And now 10-11 will take the breach onto Active Gaming. Surge will get confirmed by Bego. Bego up 10 eliminations, and they might just be cooking a little bit more. Gorjay pops to the left, trying to take on Anez. He pops a little bit of shots again, and Anez will be swept away, sent back into the lobby. But unfortunately, Bego is also going to succumb to the guys from 03. Gorjay, the last one up for the guys from 10-11, trying to maintain. Pops a little smoke there onto the left-hand side, trying to shield his cover and that position. He might run into 03, but now he is going to make the advance just to hold up. But Vibe in a 2-2 split, trying to squeeze through 03 and the last player from 10-11. And Gorjay will do a fantastic job of holding out, but there's 3 teams left. 12 eliminations to 10-11, and it looks like the guys from Vibe will be looking like they might just be taking this one. They do have the play zone, they do have the numbers. All they have to do is wait and bide their time. Fire. All it takes is a little bit of oomph right there, and they will be able to take this chicken dinner back home where it belongs.
Yeah, definitely the boys from Vibe Gaming looking like they do have the upper hand in this one. They've got the numbers, they've got the buddies, and now they're beginning to make several different teams drop. They've got one player from 03 still left in this one, and on the other end, they do still have that one player from 10-11, and it's got G, who is trying the most possible to see if he can get or not coming through. Can he get that squad wipe up against the boys from Vibe Gaming? It does not obviously have that opportunity right there. As you can see right now, it's left with just the last player. It is no name, and this one at the end of the day, the winner chicken dinner will be going to the boys right there from 10-11.
No, I'm pretty sure Vibe won that one. Yep.
Sorry, Vibe Gaming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vibe.
Vibe Gaming.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Vibe did win that chicken dinner. Beautiful. This Vibe guy, this your shit. This Vibe guy, this guy shirts with this.
I'm off for you.
I'm so sorry. GG's to Vibe. Chicken dinner in the cut, and Vibe continue to show why they are one of the strongest teams in the NPL, getting another chicken dinner for themselves. 03 finally stepping in once again with 8 eliminations and the second place finish, but 10-11 with a whopping 12 elimination finish. Now that is the kind of stuff I do love to see, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff still. But Active Gaming still in the mix in 4th place with 5 eliminations. First Arctics in 5th place with 2, and Afro Esports in 6th place. And I believe the Afro Esports were able to get 10 as well for themselves. Or was that 11? I think it was 12 as well. I think it was 12 as well. I think they were able to get 12 as well. But Afro Esports, a big performance coming in from them. But ladies and gentlemen, it is 2 games in, and there are still 2 games left. And those 2 games will be the deciding games that will crown your next NPL Harmattan Split champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and by the time we return, hopefully the leaderboard will be out for us to see how far the teams have progressed, and we'll see, I think we're going to be having Vikendi next, and that is going to be an interesting map. Fire doesn't like that map, but I really care because it's all about violence to me, but again, compound defense a lot in that map, but by the time we return, we'll talk strategies and how to survive the Vikendi game.
Hello guys, my name is ISTG Oluashom. My in-game name is 03Nexus018. I'm the current leader at the IGL of O3 Brothers. Yeah, we finished first place in the last season of MPL. And then our experience in the tournament was very, very good because it was a nice competition. So we could learn new things, we could learn how to rotate and new strats, and then it paid off well. And we hope you guys can get us a better stream and then increase the price pool. That was all. Thank you very much. Thank you Carbon. Thank you 1080. Thank you MPL. God bless.
In your face.
Well, no, got to begin. Ooh, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, though. Interesting stuff, though. Interesting settings, though. Interesting placing. All the way from, I would say, the southeast to the southwest. And ladies and gentlemen, this is us welcoming you back to the Nigerian Pro League Harmattan split finale. We are into match 3. One more match before someone is going to be crowned champion and walk away with a little bit of that prize money and a little bit of merchandise too as well. And that tells you a whole lot of how these teams have been battling and struggling to make it to this level, from the qualifiers, playoffs, to the leagues and super weekends. Now we have our 16 teams vying and holding out these positions, getting ready to get that money's worth of action. But here comes Free Esports, now trying to be the obstacle for the guys from 21st Century. It would look a much more difficult task at hand for Free Esports. They've not had their best luck on landing on teams, starting today. They did land on the guys from Free Foul Play in the Rancho. Didn't really work out for them. They were able to get 2 eliminations out of it, but in the long run, nothing too much, nothing too fancy for them at least. But Rumsey will be holding on at least for now, trying to gather some utilities. And that's the danger of landing with teams, utilities.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see, what that does mean for, the boys from Free Esports, as they're looking to see if they can get that entry knock onto, the teams right there. We do see Hawkeye does have a line of sight of 6 Ben right there as he's cooking up that grenade. And on the other end, the Molotov doing the damage right there as Hawkeye does lose a little bit of HP. So the boys from 21st Century are quite aware of his current position, and it does look like they might be pushing into this one. If they do push in with 2 other players, it might just be a disadvantage for him, and that's why you can see him now, making that retreat and trying as much as possible to see if he can farm up onto the rest of his teammates, as Baby is, currently farming up onto this position. Now he's at a position where he does have the line of sight, or his teammates do have, his line of sight that can provide that necessary support.
Whoa.
But look at that jump shot coming through right there from Baby, putting him down to the ground.
21st Century. I mean, I think mentally 21st Century won this engagement, but the fact that Hawkeye started to retreat when things were still balanced out, tells a whole lot. I mean, look at them, Free Esports just falling one after the other. It's an unfortunate setting here, but it's looking like, this is not going to be working out for them at all, because it is going to be Roy that's left for 21st Century. I guess Rumsey, and it might just be waiting and trying to bait him out there to expose himself just a little bit too much there. He has been spotted, and the intel has been given to the rest of the teams there, but a couple of sprays from Rumsey will connect. But unfortunately, the rest of the guys from 21st Century, Baby perhaps, will pull up to the scene and we'll get another elimination. Baby has been absolutely fantastic coming into today's games, and I think it's a little bit of morale from yesterday, because I saw he did have a fantastic performance for 21st Century, in the LAN event that was held yesterday. So hopefully he's brought a little bit of that energy into the next game.
Yeah, definitely. Baby throughout the entire competition has been obviously a revelation. We've seen him get squad wipes. We've seen him, be in great positions where he continues to perform over and over again for his team, 21st Century, and we'll be curious to see if he can continue on with those performances. Obviously, before this new MPL, the players you would have been looking towards is players like Sixpen Ferro, but he has been the one, who has continued to step up to the plate. But speaking about stepping up to the plate, we are now turning our sights onto the boys from 03 Brothers, as they are now beginning to put their foot down on the boys from 03. It is Munga, Zani, and Cole within this position who are currently left, as they have now dropped down Pedri, and you obviously know when you do move into this position where the boys from 03 are situated, you definitely are going to be in for the money right there. But it does look like the boys from OG, they want the smoke. They have a plan up their sleeves. Maybe they're just here to play spoiler onto the boys from 03.
Looks like old guards have bitten a little bit more than they can chew here, as Munga's position has been casted out. As Nexus will look towards that window position just in the right corner, as he knows for a fact that the guys from Old Guards have zoomed this particular position, but they do not know about Cole just yet. He has not made any sudden moves, and the guys from O3 will have to be careful. The spray starting to connect right through there from Monga, and now he has to be careful. If he has exposes himself just a little bit too long, something unfortunate might come his way there. The guys from Active Gaming will make the advance, but another one past the dust. Cole, the next one to fall, and OG in serious trouble there. He is going to be squeezed out. Ace will be the one leading the charge, but Shiva will receive a little bit of damage there, but nothing too dangerous, as O3 will claim yet another body of the guys from OG. And now Nexus just peeking in there, looking towards the mannequin, hoping for it to just move a muscle so he can spray and pray that it connects. And now a grenade from Shiva just bounced off the windowsill there, but it's not going to do too much damage. As the guys from Active Gaming will be on the horizon there, feeding themselves a little bit of intel. I'm sure they can hear the commotion brewing all the way out here in Painan, and they might just decide to get what they want to get a taste of that as well. But O3 have a big mountain to climb if they are trying to get into that top 3 of the leaderboards. They are trying to make it, so that they would not have to play in the playoffs next season, or rather the next split. But then speaking of which, splits and all of that, the La Coupe d'Africana, I believe, performance in the Nigerian Pro League would lead to, a potential La Coupe d'Africana slot, but I'm not sure just yet. But I know for a fact that there's a possibility of that happening as well. But O3, it is very interesting though, Fire, because Old Guards are here. This is O3's landing position. They know here, by the back of their hands. So I do believe that OG will not be making it out of this engagement at all,
Yeah, obviously the boys from Old Guards came into this one trying as much as possible to see if they can challenge the boys from O3, and definitely they knew what they were getting into. Maybe the plan was to, reduce the points that the boys from O3 were gathering. Maybe they're coming in for some sweet revenge. You never really know what is going through the mind of the boys from OG, but they've not been able to replicate the performance that we saw from them in the previous stages, and we'll see if somehow Monga can begin to rack up those points right now. But speaking about that one right there, we do see him getting dropped down as the boys right there do get those final bit of eliminations and take them back home, and you can see that little bit of gunshot celebration coming through from the boys from O3.
As expected, O3 do have this position at the back of their hands, and they dominated the guys from Old Guard, showing exactly why they are the kings of Painan. They've got 4 eliminations to boot, and it looks like they might just be on their way there to get a couple of more. The guys from 21st Century breaching up. He will be catching one of the players from First Arctics. He was able to squeeze out 1 elimination from the guys from 21st Century. I believe that was Pharaoh. And now 21st Century will have to continue with a 3-man team, Baby, Sixpen, and Roy. And unfortunately, so with the guys from First Arctics, it is going to be a 3 versus 3, a 3-piece for each team. But unfortunately, they will not be having any numbers advantage going to the next phases of the circle, as the first zone will be closing very, very shortly. Will determine, what kind of rotations these teams want to be making. The Dream Team looking very, very prime that northern side, as they will not be having anyone contest them if they do try to, claim Paradise Resort for themselves. But all the way, you can see on that northwestern side, guys from 10-11 just maintaining beauty all the way out there, not overextending or engaging just a little bit too much, but a little bit might be on the cards. Yeah, the guys from Active Gaming will get it into some action onto the guys from O3, and they will be the thorn in the side.
Definitely, we do see them getting one elimination coming through, and not just anyone. It is a boy Nexus who's currently being dropped down, and definitely, that is a lot of firepower going away from the boys from O3. Now they'll be looking to see if they can make that push onto that location. You can see Anez just getting a flank position, looking to see if he can make that push onto the rest of the players from O3. Now this is what the boys from Active Gaming definitely need to be doing. They need to be getting into this position and trying as much as possible to see if they can take out the boys from O3 and send them back into the lobby, because if you're looking to get that top spot, definitely these are the rivals, these are the players you need to be taking out. But they also need to be careful, because there's also on the horizon the boys from CLS who are looking to come into this position, but there's still left two players from the boys from O3. The revives have come through. There's a 2v4 situation coming down. As you can see, Shiva does get dropped, and now they can turn the sights onto the last player. There's no name right in this position. You can see Ines go trying as much as possible to see if he can get that knock coming through, and at the end of the day, that is the boys from Active Gaming getting that wipe right there onto the boys from O3.
Active Gaming rising to the occasion there, playing as a team, one elimination apiece, everyone doing the exact job of eliminating who it is they were supposed to eliminate, and now it's showing on the boards there. Active Gaming doing a fantastic job of driving out the guys from O3 away from this position, and I believe with that performance, O3 will not be the champions of this finale at all. They have not been able to crack through and gain a significant game-changing performance, unfortunately. But, I believe the top three would still be in touch for them, but a couple of sprays from Peachy there will catch a Roach, knocks him clean off. Cyclone Shield doing a fantastic job of holding out. But Neo will get the job done there. But here comes Stoner all the way from the western side. Will catch Peachy. And it would be wiser for the guys from Cyclone Shield to complete this engagement. And they should not allow Afro Esports to get their numbers all the way back up. But Cyclone Shield, you can see in the feed, they're now taking a side-by-side onto the guys from Active Gaming. But Stoner will make the advance. One after the other, they continue. But the utilities from Neo start to come out as Peachy is still crawling for dear life. But Stoner is still within the misc there. He might just be able to take this engagement. It would be the wiser choice for Stoner to push up on this position and eliminate the guys from Afro Esports to stop them in their tracks. But Swags is actually there as cover, and you have to love the ability of Afro Esports to play on the offensive.
Yeah, absolutely. The boys from Afro Esports dealing some damage onto the boys right there from CLS, but also there was some action going down as well, coming through in some third party. It was the boys from Active Gaming who were trying as much as possible to see if they can get into the mix of things right here. They've got one of the players currently knocked down. It is a pro who is within this vicinity, and now they're trying to see if they can get him back up, get that revive coming through, and Smokes are coming in this position. Will they be able to get that revive? We'll see, what happens in that position. But all the way up on that mountain, as the boys from Afro Esports who can now also come in with the third parties and begin to send all the shots onto that position. We'll be curious to see how that one does play out for these guys right here. But so much action going right here on the lobby, and let's just take a look and see where everyone is currently presenting themselves in that stage 2. We're moving all the way towards that stage 3 as the zone now begins to inch closer and closer. We're seeing several different teams now begin to get into the mix right there.
Shit. Cyclone Shield getting to a little bit of a skirmish with the guys from Active Gaming. They will lose one, and Top G will get knocked away, but the confirmation will not be coming through. Cyclone Shield doing a fantastic job of putting a dent in the works of the guys from Active Gaming, as Skinny will be sent back into the lobby. But so would the rest of Active Gaming, actually. All left to Stoner, who's going to be the last one up, finding himself a little bit of a corner there inside of that next zone to navigate through. But Afro Esports will be holding the higher ground, the higher terrain, looking down of all the rest of these teams, trying to find the best team to eliminate and squeeze out to take off their position. As you can see, 21st Century continuing their onslaught onto the rest of these teams. Foul play will be the next victims to fall to their position, as Locane will receive a little bit of damage on that other side. You can see guys from Cyclone Shield have been having an unfortunate finals. Very, very unfortunate finals so far. They've not been able to stand the test of the violence that is the NPL finale. It is unfortunate, but they have started to run the risk of eliminating them. Unfortunately, throughout this ordeal, the guys from Dream Team, you can see them getting a little bit of a skirmish onto 10-11 there. There's a whole lot that could be said, holding out these positions, but they currently could be working out for the guys from Dream Team. They are able to get 1 eliminations out of that engagement, and it looks like they might just be looking for more.
Yeah, we'll see what that means for the boys from Dream Team if they're going to be pushing up onto this location. But it does look like they're going to prioritize getting themselves into that zone as well, as all of these guys are looking to begin to make their move right in. But on the other end of things, we do see the boys from First Actics now beginning to get into the action right there. As I do believe they got the boys from to the first century around this position, and down goes Crux coming through from a third party from the boys from Foul Play.
First Tactics need to rise. They need to rise to the occasion there, but 21st Century setting their sights still on the guys from Foul Play. Lil Kane will be spotted behind the rock there by Baby, and Baby continues to demolish every single opportunity that comes his way in the terms of eliminations, and this might just be his fourth here for 21st Century. 21st Century will not let go. They have one hand on the trophy right now, and they will not let go at all. But Lil Kane finally will be confirmed by Baby there, the Joker. You can see it on the feed, the way it continues to shine. The 21st Century continue to raise the numbers one after the other, but Dream Team now on the receiving end of violence from the guys from Men of Blood getting knocked away. And that's an opportunity for Rash to try to deal damage. He is going to catch Creed, sends him down, packing immediately, switches to the left-hand side, and he is going to use the rock as cover, trying to take them one after the other. Beautiful spray from Rash, gets another, sends him back as well. Dream Team. This is not a dream right now for them. This is a nightmare for the guys from Men of Blood as 11 tries to get to the rescue, trying to get one up. But 11 is in a dangerous scenario. He is going to be getting the eliminations for himself as well. As now no one pops right through the sides. Rash going to try again. He switches to the UMP, manages to deal right through there. But the M4 might be the better choice here. And again, the opportunity. But 11 is just better. 11 is just better. As Men of Blood will claim this one. 5 eliminations to them. But they did lose 2 players. But it would be a wiser choice as 10-11. Here they come. They hear the violence and they continue as well. They can smell the blood, and the grenade from Shrugs will continue, sending Yuri and 11 all the way down to about 40 HP. And here they come. They're swarming through. Again, he pops, but he is going to be sent back immediately by Bego. And 10-11 will claim yet another set of bodies here. And the NPL just gets feistier by the second.
And it is party after party at every single corner. You can see all of the teams are going into so much skirmishes right there. But speaking about skirmishes, let's take a look and see where everyone is currently positioned for now. As we're seeing the teams, does edge closer and closer towards that region around Quarry and that zone now making that move. But the boys from Active Gaming also now beginning to look to take on that position within that zone and now find themselves caught right next to the boys from No Rage. They do have a 3-man squad going up against that team. They have a couple of eliminations to their name, but now is where things now will begin to get super interesting.
All about interest. No Rage Esports have a complete team here. Will they be able to deal with the guys from Active Gaming? They've been running amok throughout this entire game. Will No Rage be the team that stops them in their tracks? And Nez has been spotted. Then a couple of sprays from Top C will catch him down, and another one to call right through. But No Rage Esports will put the dot and the full stop onto Active Gaming there. They were running through it, but No Rage Esports just had a better position. They had been waiting out there for Active Gaming to navigate through that entry as well, and all they had to do was use the element of surprise, and it did work out in their favor. They've got 3 eliminations to boot right there, courtesy 2 from Top C, and that will do a fantastic job of holding on for the guys for No Rage Esports. Hopefully, they will be able to make their way inside of that play zone without facing too much of resistance. That southern area, though, getting very, very angsty. As you can see, the guys from Afro Esports equally making that rotation for themselves as well. But again, it's an interesting setup, for the guys from Foul Play, having their last player, Pels, surviving inside of here. It's a little bit of that entry position, but hopefully it was going to work out at least. He is a little bit centered. He might not be in a tricky setup going forwards.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what that does mean for him as we take a look at that map right there. We still got about 9 teams left in this one, as they are all looking to see if they can now begin to get themselves into the action right there. As the boys from No Rage are now beginning to get into the line of sight of the boys from Afro Esports, and Afro continuing on with the performances today. They are simply on fire. Peachy and his boys are going toe to toe with so many different teams around them, and you can see them just looking to deep and stamp their foot up against the boys from No Rage. No Rage trying to get into that zone right there, but the boys from Afro Esports are currently in a gatekeeping position and definitely looking to play spoiler for them. But Salam and his boys are currently, being absolutely relentless. We do see Swag getting dropped down right there by that nade, and he might just be able to get that confirmation, that needed confirmation that might just give them that edge within that zone. And you can see them just absolutely fussing their way. They are currently filled with a lot of confidence after taking out the boys from Active Gaming, and they're continuing on right here to see if they can continue to boost themselves up into that play zone.
Play zone, a heavy decider onto how these teams will navigate the rest of the game here. As No Rage Esports do have Pop Smoke knocked away, but they are trying to brutalize their way and find a way inside of that next circle. As Salam does have a side sent onto the guys from Afro East, but that's a fantastic grenade. It bounces just on his right hand side, but not enough to do much of anything. But Afro Esports will be the team there that's trying to put a pep in their step and eliminate the guys from No Rage Esports. But Afro Esports as well, still trying their best to play a little bit of a gatekeep and spoiler, but Peachy has been spotted there, and a fantastic spray from Salam, but it is going to be just a little bit of a nick there. Will not be enough to drop him all the way down to 50 HP, unfortunately. But Pop Smoke again falls a little bit to the play zone, to the wayside. But the revive, it looks like it is going to be coming through. Afro Esports finally making their advance inside of that play zone. They've got 2 eliminations just now, but hopefully they will be able to acquire some more. But Vibe is there, and Vibe have their hand on the NPL title right now, but will they let it go to Afro Esports? There is a chance. It's all a matter of how this engagement will go into the future, as Akmalakba will suffer a little bit of play zone damage, even 6 men as well. 21st Century succumbing to the violence, and now the guys from No Rage Esports making the advance inside of that play zone. Top C will be spotted, and the sprays are fantastic from Peachy. Will catch the first, and Swags will catch the next. And now Afro Esports doing what they do best: play zone, defense, holding out, gun. The next one to fall for No Gaming is going to be swept away by Afro Esports. Peachy just lasering through the crowd, picking and choosing who his victims are going to be, as he's not letting go. But again, the shooting continues. He will be spotted, and he is going to be dropped down to about 10 HP. Vibe will pull up to the scene, and Afro Esports spread just a little bit too thin, and the grenades might just start to connect there, but Laser will catch Timmy, knocks him clean off, and will send it back into the lobby as well. Vibe looking in a very dangerous position. They were looking like they were on the front end, but the tables have started to turn, or would I say the turns have started to table, as Bougie will be knocked all the way back. Bad Boy Tim's on the rear end. Afro Esports pushing forward. They are not going to relent, and the grenade will connect. Bougie gets knocked immediately. Bad Boy Tim's the last one up. Will he be able to get one elimination? Manages to pop a couple of shots towards Swags, but Swags will use a tree for cover, sends him back into the lobby. Afro Esports up from 2 to 6 eliminations in the blink of an eye there, and that is the beauty of the NPL finale. All of the teams are going crazy fire.
And absolutely amazing stuff coming through from the boys from Afro Esports. So you can see them being absolutely aggressive. They're continuing this game the way they started the previous one, and they do have 9 eliminations on themselves. They've gotten a winner chicken dinner with a lot of points, and if they can seal this game and grab that chicken dinner, which looks very likely because they do have the bodies right here, they might just be finding themselves very clear off the rest of the teams. It is quite certain that they're going to be on the number 1 spot, but I do believe there's going to be a real gap between them and the rest of the lobby.
Afro Esports have been unrelenting, so unrelenting coming into the final of the NPL. They have not been able to rest. Ooh. Why did he choose to pop a smoke? Why didn't you just shoot? You should have shot. And it's an unfortunate scene there for 21st Century, as they will get swept out as well by Afro Esports. And Afro Esports, all they have to do is take that chicken dinner. It has been handed to them beautifully. And that is a beautiful, beautiful performance from Afro Esports once again, taking yet another chicken. You can see the way this guy they smile now. He knows. See the way they smile now. Sure, guy, it is they smile, Jerry. That's a beautiful finish for Afro Esports. Another chicken dinner, 2 out of 4. And that tells you the story. Afro Esports starting to run away with it, ladies and gentlemen. It is the NPL, the Nigerian Pro League finale, the Harmattan finals. And that is the beauty of what we have just witnessed. But ladies and gentlemen, stay strapped, stay ready. One more game left to crown the champion. It is one more game. That game will be the deciding factor for the rest of the performances we are going to see tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, by the time we return, we will have the final game for you, and after that game, we will crown the Harmattan Finals champion. Stay tuned, stay ready, stay strapped.
Face in your face.
Hello guys, my name is ISG Oluashom. My in-game name is 03nexus018. I'm the current leader at the IGL of O3 Brothers. Yeah, we finished first place in the last season of MPL. And then our experience in the tournament was very, very good because it was a nice competition. So we could like learn new things, we could learn how to like rotate and new strats. And then it paid off for.
All right, guys. So we're back again for some more action right here on the last game of the night. This is the match that definitely crowns our champions, and obviously the boys from Afro Esports will find themselves all the way on top. Now, if you're looking for that leaderboard at the end of the day, it's going to be present right there on our Discord server as well as our Instagram. All right, so keeping that suspense coming through, but definitely the world has it in the streets. That is the boys from Afro Esports who are currently leading the chart right there, Priest.
Yeah, Afro Esports have been showing their hand, a little bit too strongly, and they will not be letting anyone take them for a joke. That's for sure. They've been doing a fantastic job, but so far, I believe Afro Esports have cracked that 100-point margin. And I think, by the time we check in into the final, after the end of this final game, we'll get a little bit of an idea onto how the rest of these teams have been able to, migrate and hold on for the top part of the leaderboard. But so far, I know for a fact that Afro Esports have done a remarkable job coming into today's games, and I know for a fact they've been able to, get some guarantee themselves at least a top 3 finish. And that top 3 finish will exempt them for playing in the playoffs, and they will be invited into the league straight up next into the next split. So yes, owing to that fact, they've already been able to do a fantastic job of a runaround of performing so well in the finals. And I won't lie, I called it though. I called it. I definitely called Afro Esports, finishing very strongly in the Harmattan split. But again, it is still very early. There's still a rain split. They're still going to add the points together to get us to a grand final, and that is where everyone wants to be.
Me, I will lie. I called it. Yes, I will lie. I called it. All right. So we'll see, how all the guys are going to be forming up right here, and let's take a look at the map and see where all of these teams are currently, situated in. As we do see the boys right there from 10, 11 now beginning to get into the action right there as they are dropping some bodies, and it affects that his boys who are doing the Lord's work right there as they have one elimination to Booth, and the boys from Knock and Lobby are currently feeling their heat right here, Priest.
Ooh, Knock and Lobby getting blown away. 2 eliminations to 10-11. It looks like they've started to find their stride. And now I believe at this point it is really a battle. For me, it's a battle of, the top 3, between Vibe, 21st Century, 10-11, and Active Gaming. And I think Dream Team as well. And I think those are the teams that are battling now to crack into that top 3, so they will qualify straight into the next league of the rain split. So they will not have to necessarily, go through the playoff stages, and risk a chance at the grand finals. There's a solid chance that if you play the playoffs, you might not even make it into the grand finals. You might not even make it into the finals of the rain splits. And that limits your chances of having a fantastic performance. So there's a whole lot more to it than that. But again, I am equally impressed onto how the teams have been able to perform so far. Big shout out to the guys from Afro Esports for holding it down. But again, foul play, finally getting their hands dirty onto the guys from First Arctics and No Gaming simultaneously. And foul play, I know for a fact they do love to go hard and go crazy in the final games, and it's starting to tell a lot there. But No Gaming equally on the offensive as well, getting a couple of eliminations sent towards the guys from First Arctics. And all the teams now that have been fighting at the bottom have started to rise up to the occasion, but it's a little bit too late for them.
I can definitely say that I cannot say it's late for any team. Whatever, regardless of the fact that they might not be able to qualify into that top 3. They can play spoiler for a lot of people, and that definitely is going to be really nice to see. A lot of teams getting their pleasure from spoiling it for some other guys. So we'll see if a team like Foul Play can begin to rack up those extra bit of points right here. But you can see PlayStation 5 now moving on to that position where Shiki is currently positioned in, looking to see if we can get that knock coming through, and Locane and the rest of the teammates are going onto that last player. Remember, Knock and Lobby lost a couple of players right there to the boys from 10-11, but here comes Shiki himself looking to see if he can actually be the one to now play spoiler onto the boys from Knock and Lobby, but he's got too many bodies in this position, and they rush on to make sure that he does not get that confirmation. And right there, they do now have two eliminations to themselves.
It was a tricky setup for the guys from Knock and Lobby. Unfortunately, they will get sent back into the lobby, and that will be the end for them in the Nigerian Pro League Harmattan split finals. And hopefully, they will not get overthrown by the guys from Foul Play and the rest of the teams that are currently sitting below 12th place on that leaderboard. Because you can tell all of these teams have been doing a very, very hatch job of holding out the most of their performances so far. But you have to respect the performance still, even if it is not necessarily the best they've been able to put up. But No Gaming finally been able to rectify a couple of shots and violence. And I believe that was towards the guys from First Arctics trying to make a rotation through this corner. But Active Gaming finally making their equal rotation as well, trying to breach inside of that next play zone, finding a brand new place to call home. There will be a whole lot of teams still trying to navigate the play zone, but you do have to respect, all of those teams that are all far off on the western side, because the play zone is a little bit east favoring. So teams such as Afro Esports will have to make a hell of a rotation all the way across to the eastern side without having to get blown away by all of these teams that are going to be, standing in their way. But it is equally impressive still, O3 and the guys from Free Esports all the way far up on that northern side. They do not necessarily have to navigate inside of that play zone just yet, but you do have to see and watch out for the guys from 21st Century, because it looks like some violence between Dream Team and Active Gaming is going on somewhere around the southern side, as Active Gaming will be losing Surge, the top G, and you get knocked away. Pro tops right outside, but Archer, he's going to drop him immediately, but the return fire is brilliant from Rash there, connects to with a Tommy gun, sprays again, sprays a further, and he is going to catch Skinny as well. 2 down for Active Gaming. It's all left to Waness, and he is going to pop through that grenade. Sends the first one, might just connect right through, and it continues the fight for the guys from Active. That's a fantastic grenade. And another one pops the dust again, tries to connect right through. Sees Sad, pops a couple of shots again. The UMP tries the left, but it doesn't connect. Rash trying to make a rotation towards the right-hand side, trying to find an angle. Onto the last player for Active Gaming. This might just spell curtains. Active Gaming might just get knocked away from top 3 position if they do lose this this position that they have here, though, because Aness is trying his absolute best to hold on. But it looks like it's going to be a mountain on a molehill here, but he is going to pop the smoke, head into his the coop and get out of dodge. But fortunately, the guys from Active will live to fight another day, courtesy of Aness. But I spoke too soon. The sprays continue as he tries to get out of dodge, as he will be making it to this compound. But if you know the guys from Dream Team, they will not rest. They make the advance a little bit further. Rash rotating from the right-hand side, feeding the intel to the rest of the guys from Dream Team, and here they come, crashing the building. FBI, open up. Aness pops the grenade downstairs. Again, he's trying to pop another grenade, and it might just be a smoke this time, but it's not actually. It's going to be a frag. Pops outside, but it's not going to connect just yet, but he is going to jump outside to continue the battle. Tries again to pop through, shoots open the windows to the left and the right-hand side, but no, Archer is there to seal the deal. Active Gaming eliminated and sent back into the lobby, and that might just be the end for them. They might not just have cracked into the top 3 to make it into the next rain split. Woo! Fire, that was intense. I was not expecting Active Gaming and Dream Team to clash this early.
Yeah, definitely. The boys from Active Gaming getting into a very sticky situation up against the boys from Dream Team, who also now find themselves in a similar position, coming up against the boys from 21st Century.
Dream Team doing a fantastic job of continuing to eliminate team after team here. But 21st Century will be the ones to step onto the plate next, as O3 will find their hands full with the guys from Free Esports. A couple of shots from Rimsey. You can tell earlier he was able to spray right through, but Rimsey will be confirmed by Ace, as Sixben still has his sights set onto the guys from Dream Team. Archer will be spotted, and a couple of warning shots will be sent, but Nexus, unfortunately, will be the one confirmed this time. And guys from Free Esports are still circling around like sharks. Mando on the left. Now switches all the way out over to the other side there. Hawkeye trying to make that rotation around, but 0-3 in a 3 versus 3. It gets very tricky though, because they are in a better split position, as Jagaban will fall a little bit behind there, trying to find an entry onto the guys from 0-3, but Afro Esports turning the tables down on them, and they are trying to do their best to hold off the guys from Free Esports, but 0-3 have a lot of work to do. They are trying to make it to that top 3. A beautiful performance of at least a double digit will do the job, as 21st Century now set their sights onto the guys from Afro Esports. The violence all over the map is ingenious fire. There's so much action.
All right, so here's where it is. The boys from 0-3 have lost one of the players that is Nexus, who's been dropped down by the boys from Free Esports, and Jagaban and his brothers are currently, in a split that might prove to be really difficult for them. You can see Mondo right there up on that building, and there's also one of the players who is in a third party going through right there. But all the way on the other side, you do have the boys from Afro Esports, who are now getting into a skirmish with the boys from 21st Century. They've come into this region. They've got Neo, who's been taken down there as well, and it is just like fights on every single corner. It does look like the boys from Afro Esports are just going to be moving away from the ups right there, and trying as much as possible to see if they can get away from that situation. But speaking about situations, we still have the boys from First Actics. There's two of them. It is Agati and Yomite, who are within this vicinity, coming up against the boys from No Gaming.
A lot of action that No Gaming have actually been seeing in this last day is so insane. But 0-3 getting bludgeoned again by Free Esports. Free Esports trying to free them from the shackles of being not OP enough, as Mando will continue to spray in the direction here for 0-3 brothers, as Ace will be the one to lose his vehicle this time, and it is going to be very, very difficult for the guys from 0-3 to make navigations inside of that next circle. It could be very, very detrimental depending on how they want to play this, but Shiva is just in front there. I believe Shiva is the only one with a vehicle right now, trying to navigate and find a position inside of that zone for the guys from 0-3 to take the fight onto the guys from Free Esports. Jagaban here, still holding on, just popping a little bit of a smoke there. It would be wiser for him to get into his vehicle, though, and find somewhere else to play from, because Free Esports will have a hard time taking fight from this position, but it is more of a defensive position. Shiva all the way out to the left-hand side there, trying to look out for Jagaban, just trying to get a glimpse of where he is. He's starting to make the moves there, and now's the opportunity. The sprays continue. Amanda on the top-hand side of the roof, as Shiva will fall a little bit behind there, just to give a little bit of space between them and the guys from Free Esports. But Ace will get knocked away, but I do not believe the guys from Free Esports will be able to do anything about it just yet.
All right, so the man Hawkeye is actually looking to see if he can crash into this position as he pulls up onto the boss of 0-3, but he will get put down to the ground as Hawkeye made a very brave move onto this position, and Shiva trying as much as possible to see if he can keep the hopes alive in this one. But now here comes the rest of the players. The cavalry has pulled up onto this location, and he tries as much as possible to see if he can crash onto Shiva. Yes, he does put him down to the ground, but Jagaban and the rest of his band will get sent back into the lobby. The boys from 0-3 brothers have one casualty in this fight, but at the end of the day, they were able to save Shiva from that onslaught. That definitely does mean that they do have 4 eliminations to boot, and the boys from 0-3 are looking like they can get themselves into that top spot.
Ooh, delay is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen, but take a look at this delay coming in from the guys from Free Esports. They had all the time in the world to make that push, but unfortunately they got blown away courtesy of that Shiva masterclass and a beautiful positioning from the guys from 0-3. It was going to be very, very tricky for that position to be taken away from them, and that showed you why. But the guys from No Gaming able to eliminate the guys from First Arctics earlier on, sending them back into the lobby in 10th place. And now the violence continues there. I believe Cyclone Shield and the guys from 21st Century are getting to a little bit of something on the other side of the map there. And all of these teams are just trying to absolutely best to rain the violence continuously, as Roach will send a grenade, but Rage will send another one back, as the guys from Men of Blood will come in and continue the violence. As you can see, Stoner this time around will catch 6 men and will send him back into the lobby with the quickness. And all of the numbers and all of the teams trying their absolute best just to increase their points, increase their standings on the leaderboards, as O3 will have 4 eliminations here. That will count for something. But what does it count for? That is the question. How many points does O3 need to crack into that top 8? They need at least 20. They need at least 20 points, and that will do the trick for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if maybe they can go on and continue to grab those points they actually needed to continue to push them up on that leaderboard. But all the way on the other side, we do see the boys from Dream Team, who've not been putting quite the performance that you expect in this finals. Finals now beginning to, turn the sights onto the boys from Afro Esports. We saw them take out the boys from Active Gaming, and basically just play spoiler. We talked about it early on that the teams who are all the way in that bottom side, what can they do? And it will seem like it was the boys from Active Gaming who are actually getting stumped and by a lot of these teams who maybe just on that leaderboard don't really stand a chance to get into that top 3.
And it's so impressive, that they've been able to maintain this level of consistency, owing to the fact that it has been very, very unfortunate for the rest of those teams trying to navigate from that position. I believe equally, that 10-11 as well was eliminated, and I think none of them would actually crack that top 3. I think yeah, I think 10-11 got eliminated. They were able to get like 3 eliminations, but I don't think that is going to be enough, to maintain that top 5 finish. As 21st Century, I believe, were eliminated as well, and I think there's a whole lot, that goes into this, as Vibe Gaming, I believe, are still in it, in it to win it. So there's so much more action, 21st Century, um, and I think Cyclone Shield, O3 Brothers, First Arctics, all of these teams still have a lot to fight for in this game. So hopefully they will rise to the occasion and start to fight for it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see. What that does mean for them if they can, fight on and see themselves, being carried all the way towards that top of the leaderboard at the end of the day. But you would now see the boys from MOB turning the sights onto the boys from CLS. Now, CLS has been getting themselves into several different fights right here. They got 3 players in this position, and 11 is just waiting for that one opportunity to see if they can get a knock or 2 and then move into that building. Now, MOB yesterday was absolutely outstanding. They've not been able to replicate that same performance in today's game, so be curious to see if somehow today they can just manage to do that again.
Well, Men of Blood have their sights set onto the guys from Cyclone Shield. It is going to be 11 trying to find an opening into the guys from Cyclone Shield. As you can see, Roach will hop into his vehicle trying to get out of dodge there. He is going to make a rotation away from that position. Stoner will follow suit, and they will leave 11 there holding the bag as the guys from Men of Blood will try to find their own entry inside of that play zone. They've got 2 eliminations, and they are not too far off. They are definitely not too far off, Men of Blood. All they need is an outstanding performance, and that might just be able to do the trick to get them into the next phase, to get them into the next season's league play. Because I know for a fact it is just only Afro Esports that is there, and now all the rest of these teams will have to pull something out of the bag to continue on that stage. I think Afro Esports does have our 1 player left inside, and that is going to be Laser. But Dream Team have 4 eliminations, and they have a potential as well to crawl into that top 3. All they need is I believe 6 more eliminations, and that might just be able to do the trick. But I might be wrong. My calculations might be off. But all of these teams are trying to increase their standings so that they will qualify at least for that top 3 to get a taste of that prize pool money and to get invited straight into the league for the next split. And that is all that matters to most of these teams right now. Getting into that top 3. Vibe, still alive. 21st Century, sent back into the lobby. 10-11 as well, sent back into the lobby. And now Active Gaming following suit. Dream Team, O3 Brothers, and Men of Blood all have the the opportunity of climbing into that top 3. But which one of these teams do you think will find a way into that top 3?
It's very difficult to say, obviously, on the overall leaderboard. The boys from, 10, 11, and Active Gaming were the guys who did stand that chance. But if Dream Team can sort of put a good performance in this game, maybe, just maybe, they can find themselves boosting all the way into the top of that leaderboard. Before this game started, they were trailing that third position by 10 points. Now, if they are to do well, it does mean that Vibe Gaming and 21st Century themselves self will not be putting up good performances. But definitely that's not what we're seeing on this final game right here. So Dream Team does have a lot of work to do if they are going to qualify.
It would be a rags to riches story for the rest of these teams here, but O3, they can take this engagement though. They have all of the angles covered, but No Rage Esports doing a fantastic job of being proactive and preemptive, sending Top C over to the northern side just to play a little bit of Overwatch and cover, and that would buy them a significant amount of time. The Dream Team here, setting their sights, holding on, trying to survive, one after the other. Teams start to fall, placements points start to go up, and that is the plan. That is the strategy that most of these teams have been trying to do and hold on. But the points start to dwindle, the eliminations start to crease through. As Dream Team now will be squeezed away from this position. The play zone has moved away from them. Now they will have to advance and find another place to call home. But fortunately for them, they are a four-man team. The guys from Men of Blood will be making the same rotation out of that dodge. They will be finding a brand new spot to call home, at least for the time being. But here comes the guys from No Rage Esports making the same rotation. And now they might just run into each other. There's a potential for something interesting to happen here. Dream Team, this might just be the engagement they've been looking for, but fortunately they will be choosing to perform drive-bys instead, and a couple of sprays will be sent back to Chris there. A little bit of a warning, as it will receive a little bit of significant damage chasing onto the guys from No Rage Esports. But here comes Sad getting spun away, and that's a beautiful spray onto the guys from No Rage Esports. As Salam will be cut down to about 20 HP as he tries to drive through, but Chris will get knocked away by Temi from Vibe. And it's an unfortunate scenario here because the guys from Dream Team will be pulling up into the school area, the school district, the home of the guys from Vibe. As Dream Team will be doing their absolute best to navigate these positions, but one after the other, they start to crawl inside of that building. Kenny pops again towards that corner side, and again, he tries his best, but Rash pulls up very closely, starts to about 1 HP, and he is going to get dropped by Kenny. But here comes Archer, pops again, Scene, tries his best, pops again with the M249, and he's going to be the last one up. Dream Team, they might just be seeing this one slip away from them. Sad. The left-hand side is looking very caked up, though. He cannot be spotted through that corner there because Timmy's on the other side. He tries his best, but that is Dream Team sent back in 8th place, and I do not think they did enough to get it. Dream Team will be sent back packing into the lobby as Vibe will continue to maintain. Ladies and gentlemen, as you see as it stands on the leaderboard right now, Dream Team were not able to crack into that top echelon of the leaderboard as it stands. A couple of teams trying their absolute best to hold on, but Fire, you know for a fact that all of these teams now have a little bit of a breathing room as they've seen that Dream Team will fall.
Yeah, definitely. I do believe that those teams who are in that top three position are definitely safe right now with 21st Century, looking quite good and can go on into, qualifying into that final stage. I think that the rest of the teams can just continue to have the fun. For Vibe Gaming, they're also looking like they're quite safe. Afro Esports might have just won this, except of course Vibe Gaming just goes off and wipes out the rest of the teams and maybe just pull off like a 30 points in this game, but regardless of that, let's just have fun in this last game and see the way it's gonna go. But for me, I think the boys from Afro Esports will already begin to just celebrate right here.
Yeah, Afro Esports with a beautiful performance, 2 chicken dinners out of 4. You have to respect that. Big numbers they were able to put on the board. But here comes O3, and this is that performance. O3 have found a niche inside of that next zone to hold on, and it looks like no one will wrest this position away from them. O3, it looks like this is that game that they will use to crack into that top 3. This is the performance that of O3 that we know. And all it takes is just a little bit of more action. But Peachy has been spotted there. A couple of our sprays will be sent to him, courtesy of No Gaming. They are trying to make that rotation through that corner there, making the advance one after the other. Continuous sprays from No Name. No Name will catch Bibbs and knocks him clean off. And it looks like a potential for 5 eliminations onto the guys from an O3 brothers onto the guys from No Gaming. An odd man in a tricky and sticky situation. That's a fantastic grenade from Shiva there, but it's not going to connect. Falls a little bit short. A couple of inches away as Afro Esports continue to spray in that direction. They also have to be careful. Rusty on that western side. He has been spotted by Shiva, but Kenny will be there to catch a couple of shots onto the guys from O3. No Name will be the next to fall. And there's so many teams inside of this area. Rusty spraying outside. He exits the vehicle just a little bit too late, baby. What just happened? How did Shiva miss all those shots? PUBG, don't kill us.
And crazy stuff happening at every single corner right there. You can see the shots just being let loose as the boys from, O3 are trying as much as possible to see if they can now begin to rack those eliminations and make sure that they do find themselves up into that top 3 position. They do have a lot of work to do if that definitely is going to come to fruition as they were trailing by a lot of those points. I do believe that they do have to get a winner chicken dinner, and maybe, just maybe, a bad performance coming in for to the first century that might see them getting into that spot. We'll see how likely that is at the end of the day, but definitely they're looking like that's exactly what they want to do, is they're dropping the buddies left, right, center. The current is sitting down with 6 of those eliminations. They don't have the man next us, but they're definitely looking like they want to get into that spot.
Oh, tricky scenes here. Lasering through, catches Shiva off guard there, exposes himself just a little bit too long. And Afro Esports starting to creep right in. Ooh, O3 left the back door open, and Afro Esports will start to penetrate through. One after the other, they start to make the advances. The grenades start to sink right through. Afro Esports catch another one by the dust. Ace, the next one to fall. Peachy's just spamming one after the other. The grenades, the utility starting to come out. O3 getting bodied left, right, and center. Afro Esports not relenting. They want to finish strong. They want to take all the chicken dinners as possible. 3 out of 4 chicken dinners. Now that you cannot argue with, and that is going to be the end of Afro Esports, of O3 brothers, courtesy of Afro Esports. And I believe they were able to get 8 eliminations out of all of that, but it's not going to count for much, as Cyclone Shield will be trying their absolute best to hold on. But Stoner and Steroids, the last 2 up. Okay, it's a 3-man team actually. Stoner, Steroids, and Roach, the last 3 for the guys from Cyclone Shield, trying their absolute best to hold on. But Vibe is on the northern side, coming in from school, starting to spray from the north, trying to catch all the teams left, and they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. But Men of Blood is still in the mix, starting to spray. Yuri catches Timmy, sends him down all the way north. Again, they continue. Afro Esports now pulling up onto Cyclone Shield, sending Steroids back into the lobby with the quickness. Swags dealing all the damage he can from the corner there as the utilities start to come out from Stoner, trying to keep them at bay. But Bougie will send the Molotov cocktail, sending damage all the way to the guys from Men of Blood, and that might just be curtains for them as well as the utilities start to spring out. Peachy pops inside, tries to get a corner there. A Cyclone Shield trying their absolute best to hold on. But now it's the NPL, it's the finale. Who can clutch the last chicken dinner? The play zone will claim Roach, and now is the opportunity for Cyclone Shield to take the winner chicken dinner. But Stoner has been spotted. They've heard his vehicle. He's trying to get his health back up. Laser might just start to laser through. Spots him again. Jumps outside. Tries the left. Switches to the UMP. Pops a couple of shots through the smoke, but he will be spotted. Tries to deal laser, but that will be the end. Cyclone Shield sent backpacking as well, and now that is the end for Swags as well. He falls to the play zone, and all that's left is the guys from Vibe. They have left no stone unturned. They are trying to deal with Afro Esports, but Vibe and Afro, the top 2 teams of the leaderboard, continue to dominate deep into the final game. Now it's a matter of who can outdo who will take the chicken dinner, who will take the last game. It's a 3 versus 2, and Vibe already have the numbers advantage and equally a little bit of the play zone, but who will take it?
Yeah, I think at this point, both teams already know that things are basically cemented down on that leaderboard. It's just all about just not taking the chances. At the end of the day, however way this goes is not going to shake things up. The boys from Afro Esports have definitely claimed this victory. They're going to be on top of the entire leaderboard by the time this game is done, regardless of the way it goes right now. Even if the boys from Vibe Gaming get those extra bit of eliminations coming through against the boys from Afro Esports and the winner chicken dinner, Afro has still won the competition. But right here, let's see how it goes. Who does get that final victory right there and seal this game through? As you do see Laser getting that knock onto one of the players right there from Vibe Gaming, but on the other end, we did not see was Teams getting the knock onto Peachy. Now the curious thing is if Laser will be going in for that revive, if he will be pushing in for that location. But at the end of the day, it will be the boys from Vibe Gaming who do get that winner chicken dinner and seal this particular game. The boys from Vibe Gaming putting up a great performance so far, but you just have to give it to Afro Esports on this final day. They were absolutely outstanding, Priest.
Ooh, wow. Vibe. This guy with these shirts. I respect you, my guy. With these your shirts, be like saying, "Now there the jazz D." Big shout out to the guys from Vibe for clutching out the final chicken dinner of the night and the final game of the finals of the Harmattan split of the Nigerian Pro League season 6. But ladies and gentlemen, what a thunderous performance coming in from the guys from Vibe. But Afro Esports still not letting go. They couldn't get a chicken dinner, but they did manage to get 7 eliminations. Cyclone Shield falling in third place with 6, and the guys from Men of Blood in 4th place with 5, O3 in 5th place with 8, and the guys from No Rage Esports in 6th place with 7 eliminations, and in 6th place with no eliminations, sorry, and guys are from No Gaming in 7th place with 4 eliminations, Dream Team in 8th place with 4, now 9th place 21st Century with 1, First Arctics in 10th place with 3, and the guys from Free Esports in 11th place with 1, Active in 12th place with nothing, guys from Foul Play in 13th place with 6 eliminations, and 10-11 in 14th place with 3, and Knock and Lobby in 15th place with no eliminations. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be a wrap. I do not know how the leaderboards will be looking right now, but I would be impressed if they did pop right through right now. But it looks like you guys are just gonna have to, hop onto our social media to get that the leaderboards of the champions, but we already know. Congratulations, Afro Esports, because they put on one hell of a show. And I saw them yesterday. They were at the Infinix event yesterday, hosted by 1080 as well, in Lagos, the LAN event, and they won. They won that, and I believe that event actually boosted their spirits. And I'm sure for a fact that the performance that they had there was absolutely outstanding. Peachy doing a fantastic job of playing the front man for the guys from Afro Esports. Neo, equally a fantastic player. Swags, Hunter, I mean, the whole team, top notch, absolutely fantastic stuff. And that is what we love to see, ladies and gentlemen. But that will be the end of the Nigerian Pro League Harmattan finals, and that we have come to the end of it. Congratulations, Afro Esports, and that will be the winner chicken dinner that wraps it all up for the rest of these teams. We have come to the end of the finale of the NPL, but we have not come to the end of the NPL, because by this time next month, ladies and gentlemen, the Bahrain split will kick off, and now the top 3 teams that have made it tonight will not be in the playoffs for that season. They will be invited straight into the league, just like we'd had at the beginning of the league stage of the Harmattan season, but it doesn't end there. The points that these teams have gathered today will go further to join them, in the next finale of the rain season. So that will give us a general top 16 teams that will be in the grand final of the NPL season 6. But ladies and gentlemen, it is still your boy Priest, and this is me signing out. You will see the leaderboard on the social media. Stay strapped, stay ready, and don't do anything I wouldn't do.
All right, guys. So we'll catch you guys right there on our social medias. Do remember to hit that like and hit that subscribe. Let's get the likes going up. It's your boy X Fire and Priestcast right here with me, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you then. For now, it's bye bye from us.